Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Nimubunzo, numa questions. And I want to begin by asking you, Kuti, how do you justify these significant salary increases for party officials or party staff when essential public sector workers continue to earn below the cost of living?
I think it's a very valid question. You know, I never talk about the real world. I worked in the military. I think in my last job in the forces, I was a diversity and inclusion officer for a very big unit. Um, we have got a qualification around that actually, and these topics are what people deal about, isn't it? It's about conflict resolution and hearing the inequalities of what is there and there. So I think I can answer that from a professional level because I actually hold a qualification around that, or I can answer it just because I'm just talking to people here, But look at this, Tsano, look at this. The question you've asked. You gave a whole narrative on the basis of what ZANU PF is, a private organization, right? A private
Hmm.
organization. The biggest question I can ask in the challenge I can give to many people who are here I would say for now, all of you who are listening here, there's 120 people of you here, I hear the anger, I can hear the pain. But I'm going to ask you from a point of competency in what you are fighting for. For those that are based in diaspora, you obviously got, because most of the ones that were based in diaspora would come up here and would tell us about the hardships which you mentioned, the hardships of a soldier, the hardships of a policeman, the hardships of that. The first most important question for those that are based in diaspora who have home helpers in their own homes, I honestly want you to have a conversation when you come up here and make your contribution to how much you are giving those home helpers in your own home, because the question of equality, and fighting for the rights of others, you need to ask yourself, you are as an organization, because you're a private organization, you're supporting your family back home, and so forth, because you are at a better position of actually gaining more money and so forth. Chifunga imusikane ukubasa. We're not asking your people, because you already admitted in your own self that your people are suffering back. So I'm going to ask you who are not suffering. How much are you been, or what are the rights that you have fought for the home helper who's looking after your family, your sekurus, and so forth. Anyway, I'll come to the debate as we come up, because this is about the human rights, isn't it? So I've asked a question about human rights in line to what you're asking me. Would I want ZANU PF salaries that have been announced by the president to ZANU PF headquarters do be the standard practice or the standard salaries across board in Zimbabwe as a whole? Yes, because that is nice. Those are nice figures that I could hear from that. Those are good monies that I could hear from that. That is above and beyond where you can actually pay and save money and actually push for your dream just from your salary, because this, from looking at the lower ranks to where the money is, the top people, it's good amount of money. I think the highest that I saw there was to about 3,500. Most people in Europe don't get that money. And you've got more bills and structures to pay than in Zimbabwe and so forth. So to me, I think it's a very lucrative salary. If our CEOs or our government officials who are heading these departments are actually structured to get to that, but they have to be effective. The whole point about salary increments and salary system rise is how an organization is structured and the way they get their money and how they are sponsored. So, a private organization versus a government institution, how does the government raise its money? You know, where does the money money comes from? It comes from not just the treasury, but it comes from, from the taxes and everything that is we are paying in Zimbabwe. So I'm hoping as we go moving forward with NDS2, we are going to see this is what the president said. This is what NDS is talking about. We'll see more salaries going up because that is what the salary structure would look like because NDS2 is there.
But for now,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
this?
But I said,
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
for now,
yeah, for
can
now.
this be justified?
For now, you cannot make a justification in comparison to two things that are not in the same line. If you compare ZANU PF headquarters to Econet, if you compare ZANU PF to maybe, Tagwiri's, because you was mentioned here, a private organization, if you equate to any institution in Zimbabwe and say this is, and if you can equate to, MDC, for instance, there's MDC still going.
Mhm.
It's got structures, it's got property. MDC as a political party has many properties in Zimbabwe. It's not just that house that they have. They have many properties. So and they have a working group there that is actually working in that office. So if it's a comparison, a fair comparison is comparing the same level of organization to each and say, why is this organization thriving better than the other one? And then we look at how that organization is structured. Look, if you walk into, I've had the privilege.
No, but
Let
no,
me, yeah,
I know, I know. I want to, that's. I don't think that comparison is a comparison that should be had.
yeah. Are you talking in
Given
terms
no,
of,
given the organization that we are talking about,
yeah,
or better still, let me ask you this:
yeah, maybe
we've
ask
got
you.
an organization, a political organization that is the ruling party, a ruling party that is governing, the country, a ruling party that is overseeing the economic environment that is existing, in the country. So with that political party, I'm focusing in on it. How should it balance its internal operational needs with the broader responsibility of maintaining public confidence here during a period like the period that we are finding ourselves in? Forget about other political parties. Because I'm sure when other political parties are looking at their salaries, maybe they juxtapose that with the economic, hardships, that are prevailing at that time, and probably, reward people in line with what is existing. So ZANU PF is a political party. How should it balance its internal operational needs with the broader responsibility to maintain public confidence during times of need like what we're experiencing, today? You can open up your mic.
Yeah, you're asking me an ethical question, isn't it? There are two sides. Yes,
Yes.
it is an ethical question, isn't it? And there are two
Hmm.
sides to this coin of ethics.
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
yeah.
It's not necessarily an ethical question, but
Yeah, but
it's a question on
yeah,
governance and public
good. No, no, no,
trust.
no, 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 no. It can be public. It can be governed. But okay, well, let me put it to the. It's good. Okay, I can take it to the governance and public trust. You're saying there.
Yes.
To me, it tells me. It's a picture that if ZANU PF is got the guts to really look at these people and say, they deserve a salary increment because they've worked so hard, and they can see that they, whatever the, the supporting system that they have, they've got little fund, they've got more funds that are coming to them. It tells me two things: that
Hmm.
what they were preparing for and telling people that the economy is turning around is actually true. Do I want that to translate? And for someone who's a teacher, someone who's looking at who's working in the government, they've seen that as an organization, ZANU PF can actually run itself well as an organization, because we don't all belong to that organization. We are party members, but we pay our money. We also pay subscriptions, which I believe also go and forms part of that salary that comes, because that's what we pay for. So to me, I'm looking from the third ground of not being a party member, of someone, a civil servant who's working, not political aligned, but just looking at an organization that is rewarding its people for good for the works that they are doing in there. Because a pay increase is it's an award, it's a reward, isn't it? Something good is
Hmm.
happening within your finances. So it's not just you just wake up and just increase people's pay. No, something good has had to happen within your finances, and you can actually make it work. That's what organizations do. Otherwise, it's not like manna from heaven that just increases. So to me, it is telling me a picture that this organization has been effective in running itself. One. So do I want that effective?
So,
Wait,
so, so,
wait. I haven't finished. I haven't finished. I haven't finished. I
how
haven't
come
finished.
this effectiveness is
I,
not because this is the governing
no,
party? So, how
wait.
come if they can so effectively run their party, how come this effectiveness is not translating to all these other,
Yeah,
institutions and public
they,
bodies that
there's been from
they run?
17 billion to 52 billion of an increase. It's significant money that is flowing into the country. They have run the country well. But what we are talking about
Yeah, but
is
I mean,